Hello friends, it's Coop from Garage Gym Reviews, and Rogue has a new product. I don't know if you're like me, but there was a time where I would F5 the Rogue New Gear page like constantly. I would just mashing that button, refreshing. It's been a while. I've been waiting, and actually I said at the beginning of this year, I think this year is gonna be a year that Rogue comes out with a bit, and they've come out with a banger. This is their functional trainer rack, basically their answer to the Ares and Athena. We've been waiting for this, and actually Rogue, I've noticed in their marketing, just talking about it, this is really the first time I've seen them mention a competitor. Most of the time, they're just like, this is what we've got. In this one, they speak specifically. They don't say the word, they don't say like Rep or Ares or Athena, but they say competitors have this, we have this. Most competitors do this, we do this. I love the fight. Like, I want the fight because I think it's better for the consumers. Lower prices, increases innovation. But we both see this on their website. I want to react to it, talk through it, what I think is going to happen. Also, we got some photos from people that went to the Arnold that posted it on our Facebook group. Thank you guys for doing that. One specifically that I saw was from Scott Reese, so thank you for posting those, and we're going to walk through them. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm on their website. Again, I used to hit this New Gear page for a while. Like, they've got some newer stuff, but there hasn't been anything for a while that's been like, oh, I'm so excited for that. This one, I am. They've got two right here, the Rogue FM6 functional trainer and the FMHR. Very similar, the only difference is one's a power rack, and these can actually go on the power rack you've already got if you're already in the Rogue Monster system. But I think they're actually making these for the Monster Light too. Supposedly they confirmed that at the Arnold. But the one that most interests me personally, because the type of training I do, is definitely the half rack. I love a half rack system, like a good half rack. So let's take a look at it. All right, so basically they've got two options within the two options. One option is plate loaded and one option is a stack version. Pricing on this is pretty competitive somewhat when you look at the Ares and Athena. Kinda. Here's the big difference, and this is one reason they're able to have maybe somewhat competitive pricing, even though they're making these in the US, which costs more. They're only using one stack. And this is really the most interesting part, and a part that, like, I don't know how they're doing this with the pulley system, but they're doing a 2-to-1 pulley, which is what you want on a functional trainer. So basically whatever weight you put on the trolley or the stack, if you're using a stack, it's gonna be half that at the functional trainer arms. But at the low row lat pull, they're using 1-to-1, but it's using only one stack. So I don't know how they're doing it. I looked at the photos, we'll look at them. The shrouds that they have around the pulleys at the Arnold were fully encased. So I don't know if they were like trying to hide the pulley system because it's some like engineering magic, but it's pretty freaking cool. I haven't seen other companies do that. I think it's really cool. Like the engineering they're doing on that to save money and also save assembly time. But one thing that's gonna be interesting to me is the feel of it, because it's using a single stack. A lot of times, honestly, using a single stack, you can't really notice. But I'm curious how it feels actually in use, if it feels different with a single stack versus dual stack, like what Rep is doing on their Athena and Ares. So, but you can see they've got the top lat pulley, low row pulley, the side pulleys that route, and then the functional trainer. And then I'll show you the full rack version. It looks pretty sick. They're only renders right now. Renders always look cool. It's just true. But you can tell the other thing that's pretty cool on this, the plate loaded version that we see here, if you look in the back, all that is a really tall Rhino. Like, they're taking the components from the Rhino. You can see the massive horns on there, which this is what I really hope happens, and supposedly somebody had confirmed it that was there at the Arnold and asked Rogue about it. They're gonna integrate a Rhino into this system. And it has been like, the Rhino, I'm just gonna go on record here, the Rhino from my standpoint is my favorite piece of equipment Rogue has ever made. It is so well done. I remember first unboxing that thing, putting it together, I was like, this is so well done, so well engineered. I use that thing all the time. And it's integrated in my rack system. So I saw this and I was like, oh, this is cool, but how does the Rhino fit in? Well, supposedly they're gonna make a way to integrate a Rhino. Maybe it's gonna be like a Rhino 2.0, because it's been a long time since the Rhino came out. Oh, it'd be sick. But let's look at some of the pictures. This is the stack version, the half rack version. One thing that's unique about this is just in case you needed extra stability, which I think I love extra stability, they bolted it to slingers on the wall. I think it's pretty cool. So I guarantee you that thing is just freaking solid. Got the 300-pound stacks, plus the weight of all the uprights and cross members and everything. But then let's go further. This is classic Rogue. Like, let's make it even more heavy, more stable. Let's mount it to the wall, which is pretty cool. I bet that thing was really stable. So this one has the 300-pound stack. Just a couple things I'm gonna note here that like I'm looking at. That low row cable is too low. Like that's one of the problems I had with the Rep version. It's just like it was so low. It was really annoying with the Aries. Like it just didn't feel good versus their lat pull down version. Supposedly though, they confirmed again, and I don't know if they're confirming this stuff because I mean, this is their prototype version, which I think is actually pretty smart because they can make tweaks to this because they make these in-house in the US. They make them in their facility. So they can make tweaks quicker than a lot of companies that are importing. So because of that, I'm hoping they take the feedback from this video and others and like makes these changes before it comes to market. So one big one I'd like to see, you gotta get that pulley up. Get your game up. Come on, you gotta get that pulley up. It's too low, all right? It's just gonna be annoying. The other thing, having the single pulleys, and they say this on their website, I'll pull it up. They say, I love this stuff. They say it on their website. Unlike competitor models that require proprietary specialized attachments, to be able to achieve a one-to-one load for lat pull down and low row to bridge two cables, the Rogue FM6 system is compatible with all standard cable attachments. That is a shot right across the bow of Rep. And let's get some competition. For a while, it feels like Rogue's been sleeping. I think Rep may have woken the giant, maybe. Because they say their one-to-one is not really one-to-one, as two weight stacks need to be loaded to achieve the chosen weight. Like, they're going at them. They also throw a shot across the bow of Reps being imported. They say, as with all Rogue products, FM6 functional trainers overbuilt for durability, which, if any company's gonna say that, it is Rogue. Their stuff is absolutely overbuilt. Sometimes more so than I'd even like. It's just too heavy. But their stuff, nobody can argue with that. Their stuff is overbuilt. Large pulleys contribute to longer cable life, and the US-made mil-spec aircraft cable ensures exceptional longevity compared to imported alternatives. Dang, they are going at them, boy, which I'm here for. So, looks pretty sick. The other thing I want to note on this, let's look at some of the other pictures. So, the other thing that I hope they consider changing, I haven't used it yet, but just by looking at it, I think this would be a problem. If you see that lat pull down, that center pulley, it doesn't stick out far enough, it looks like. Unless they're thinking of coming out with an attachment that fits right there. The problem is you can tell that lat pull down bar, it's gonna rub, it looks like, at least from this angle, it looks like it's gonna rub both against the uprights potentially, but also against the pulleys. You can maybe pull them all the way down. It looks kind of cramped. It seems like it needs to stick farther off. Like you see with the surplus strength UPS high, it sticks out far enough that you're not hitting the uprights. This one, it just kind of looks like it's not gonna stick out far enough. It may. Then this is the lower option. Again, pulley's way too low. Also, Rogue, you gotta give us optionality, at least for aluminum pulleys. I get the arguments for nylon, but it's just not gonna be as smooth as aluminum. Give us aluminum pulleys. I would love to see an option at least. If you're not gonna include them standard, give us aluminum pulleys. I really hope they do. This one, you can see the 300-pound stack, which I'm curious if the 300-pound stack, the actual stack, is made in the US too, because Rogue is doing that on some of their lat pull downs that they make at their Reflex factory. I wonder if they're gonna import those or if those are made in USA too. The only other company that really does that is Prime USA that I know of. All right, here's the swivel pulley system. You can see they've got a knurled handle, which is sweet. They're also using the same, I think they're Delrin, I think is the material, but it's the same roller that they use on the trolley system for the Rhino, which is uber smooth. They're using it here, which is very nice, which means Reps, for instance, they're using just a sheet of plastic that rubs easily against it works well. I never feel like it is out of the way, but it does rub. We have a white rack, it scars it up, and it's not as smooth as rollers would be. This one has rollers, which is really sweet. I'm also curious if they're gonna integrate this somehow with their trolley arms. I also like how they put prototype on there, which tells me they're still, let's throw this out there. This is a real late version. pretty close to production because they already got on their site, and let's make some minor tweaks to things people don't like, which I love that kind of thing. See, this shows a better angle for the lat pull down bar. I love the single cable attachment. Like that's vastly superior to the two, but that bar, dude, that may rub against the uprights. I don't know. The other thing is with the shrouds. You see these shrouds here, and you can see how it's like fully encasing the pulley so you don't see them. The shrouds, like, that has to add a lot of money, like a lot of cost, both the shipping and manufacturing. And I can understand maybe from a safety standpoint, like with kids and cables and stuff, but like, I don't think most people care about the pulleys and stuff being in the way. So Rogue, I would say more than a lot of companies, really thinks about safety. Like there's been like, I've made suggestions to them before and they're like, we just can't do that because I don't think it'd be safe enough. Like the removable on the multi-grip bar, removing the sleeve, that was something I was like, you should make this really easy. And they're like, well, the reason we don't is because we're worried about safety. So they're thinking through that stuff. I'm guessing that's why they did the shrouds, but I would love to see an option without the shrouds that was cheaper for people, because those have to add a lot of money. I think that would just be, I don't know, because I personally, shrouds look cool, but I don't really care. I think I'd rather just have the cheaper option. And then one other thing I want to say, supposedly, and this is another comment I saw, a guy who was at the Arnold who took these pictures, Scott Treese, he said he talked to an engineer. He said they plan to release a dual stack version. So without a lat pull low row. So basically an Athena. So if they're basically planning, at least the engineer said, they're going all in on cables, which we've been waiting for a while. They had their Slinger. Slinger didn't really do much. They're actually going in. So I'm excited to see the next stuff that comes out, but I'm pretty pumped for this, especially if they can integrate it into the Rhino. I may be adding it to my rack. A question is, how are they doing this? How are they going from 2-to-1 and 1-to-1 with single stack? I don't know. Behind those pulley shrouds, there's something going on there that allows them, somebody in the comments will probably know, some engineer will probably be able to figure it out, but they're doing a 1-to-1 on low row and lat pull and 2-to-1 using a single stack. I don't know how they're doing that. Like, maybe there's some sort of adjustment you have to do to make that happen, but if it's automatic, it seems magical to me, which engineering, a lot of engineering is magical. I mean, it's one of the things that's cool about it. I don't know how it's happening, but it's freaking cool. I think that what's really interesting with the plate-loaded version, the plate-loaded version wouldn't be as nice as the stack. Like what I would like to see is what Rep is doing with their new Adonis, where it's a stack, but also has horns that you can load. It's best of both worlds. Personally, if it was like perfect world, Rogue would have a version that would have both a stack, which would be nice for the functional trainer to quickly load, but also so you could load it up heavy with plates to be used for the Rhino. That would be like the ideal scenario. They're just very different componentry, so they may not be able to make it happen. But if it was for me and I was going to choose this, I personally would probably go with the plate version, because 300 pounds for belt squat use, if you're going to add a Rhino to this, it's just probably not going to be quite as heavy enough as what a lot of people would like. So, but I'm glad they have both options, because their Rhino version, the plate loaded is smooth. It's going to be nice, especially if they had aluminum pulleys. We'll see. Okay, what do you think of the rack? Do you think is enough to beat Rep? Like, do you think like Rep should be scared, or does Rep still have it? Because Rep's prices are great. Like their prices, innovation on it, everything. Like, but Rogue is second to market with this, which means they can take the things and learnings from Rep and make theirs better. It's one of the good things about being a second mover. So we'll see. This has been Coop from Garage Gym Reviews. We'll see you next time. Peace.